Hey, what's going on, world? This is Kay Williams for the Politic Informed, Ken Chronicles, HNS 420. We got a late show tonight. Me and my buddy, we had a phone conversation earlier, and we had to pretty much bring it to video. So we're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about economy and education in the world today. Ronnie, what's going on?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Man, what's up, brother? So the conversation that we had earlier, man, you know that you know we had to grace the airways with our opinions, right? How was your day, man?
Man, my day was cool, man. I'm saying just came from getting it, you know what I mean? Gotta get the bag, gotta get the bag while it's there, you know what I'm saying? So just winding down, you know what I mean?
Right.
Woo! You know, winding down with some of that.
All right. Keep the hustle afloat.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep the hustle and flow, man. Right now is the time to do it. If any time right now, you know, we're in a time of day right now where we have never experienced the world like this, and it's bad in a lot of ways, but there are some ways to go ahead and capitalize, so you have to do it.
No, for sure. You got to get it how you live and make the necessary adjustments where need be. Yeah, my day was cool, man. Trying to get back in the gym, get acclimated to that. I mean,
yeah.
With everything going on, you know, the madness, and I mean, it's still a lot of apprehension.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just have a quest to take care of myself or I'm half stupid. So I guess it's going to depend on whether or not, God forbid, I catch that shit, man. But I try to just be as clean as possible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's all I can really offer myself. But yeah. Talk about the NBA, man.
Oh man. First of all, with the NBA. I mean, before I say this, I must say this quick story. I love the NBA. We all do. But you know, this is how much I love the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I remember specifically 2002, Lakers versus Spurs, NBA playoffs. Western Conference semifinals, I believe. Lakers up 2. Every year around this time, me and my family, we usually go visit my mom's grave site.
It's beeping in the background.
My phone. Let me turn that.
Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm back. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, we was on the I was watching the 2002 playoff series with the Lakers and Spurs. And we always at my mother's grave site. We were going on this day. And I told them, I was like, y'all, I can't miss the game. They was like, so you just gonna stay home? I was like, yeah. And it was a game, you know, the Lakers, it was a tight game. I remember it ended, it was a tied up in the fourth quarter. Kobe had the ball, dribbled it off his foot, lost the ball. Derek picked it up, threw up some BS, threw up some bullshit. Kobe got the rebound left-handed and put it in to win the game. Lakers went up 3-1. So that's how much I love the NBA.
That was the 04 playoffs.
No, this is the 02 playoffs. The Lakers played the Spurs like three or four times.
Okay, I get mixed up. That was a lot intertwined in the early 2000s.
It was so many times. Yeah, they played them in 2004.
Oh, what year Derek Fisher threw up that left-hander?
That was 04. That was 04.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take it back to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
So back in 02, Kobe, you know, finished the game, but he snatched a left-handed rebound over Tim Duncan. David Robinson laid it in. Pretty much won the game. Won the game on an offensive rebound put back as a guard. So, you know, I was hyped up, but that's how much I love the NBA. I was willing to go ahead and miss going to my mother's grave site. So, you know, before I said that to say this, the NBA starting back up. For several reasons, I'm against the NBA starting back up. You know, one reason, of course, is the whole, you know, pandemic. As much as people want to say, you know, they don't believe the coronavirus is real, or they don't, whatever it is, you know, there's definitely something out there that's taking people out and that's getting people sick. And whether you want to believe it or not, it's going on. So I don't think that it's that important to start some entertainment. You know, I don't care. These guys are ain't nobody, you know, these guys aren't hurting for money. Now, who's hurting is the people that, you know, do work for the stadiums and for the stores that sell the merchandise. I get all that.
Argument. You know, it was an argument I had earlier with Courtney.
Yeah.
I mean, he was saying that there's some NBA players that live paycheck to paycheck, and I countered it with this. if you're what's the league minimum? Is it $1 million?
It's the lowest paid person is like 900 or something thousand.
Okay, stay there. So if a player at the low grade is making $900,000 a year, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, that means that you're probably overspending, right?
Of course.
That makes no sense. Obviously, like however much money you make, obviously you cut the cost of living down so that you're able to actually pay your bills and have a savings and have an actual life. So I really didn't understand like his stance on that, but he's not on here to defend himself though. But I was just saying, like, transition to like my next point. The whole year should have been a wash.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't. It's not advantageous for anybody. And then, you know what's crazy too, Ronnie, is the media is funny, man. The media gives out propaganda and obviously skewed perspectives and optics to draw you in, right? So when I read the headline about like the NBA and like the whole bubble effect, right? I found it interesting that all the pictures that were up about the food, unless you went into the article, you thought that was the food that was going to be served during the duration of this, you know, revised NBA season. But then when you go into it, you see that they're doing it in steps, and obviously down the stretch when they're out of quarantine, their meals are a whole lot more liberated. You know, they can go to restaurants and stuff like that. How do you even feel about that?
About the food?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, these dudes, they don't eat just regular type of food, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? These guys are millionaires, multimillionaires, and you can't just serve these guys just any type of food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to work. They're used to a certain thing. People might say they spoiled brat, whatever you want to call it. But you as a human have the right to like what you like, especially if you can afford it. So if you're going to have these dudes still playing, you cannot just serve them. I'm with the players. Like, come on, like I can't relate to eating super big like that. I'm not a multimillionaire, but I can't imagine.
But they were saying that. See the food that because you obviously seen pictures of the food too, right?
Yeah.
So that had you. So when you looked at the actual when it came out in the news, you were under the impression that was going to be the food during the duration.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, I mean, you know what, man? Like, I'm kind of okay with it if that's just what protocol is, and because when they get to the hotel, food is actually delivered directly to the hotel, and the hotel they're working as a unit, like with the nutritionists in the hotel. Yeah. You know, the same nutritionists in the hotels, they're working with I guess like I would call them like rollout meals. But I don't know, man. It's just for the media to even put that out there to have you think that like the food was gonna be a problem. I mean, they're playing a vicious game, man.
Right. Exactly. I mean, like I said, regular cats, you know, if you can't relate to that type of, it's hard to really compare because, you know, me, you know, how I grew up, nigga, I grew up eating cornflakes for dinner sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Fork?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
With a fork, though?
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes with a fork, if it wasn't enough spoons, you shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like that. For nigga, tortillas with butter on them.
Hey, why do black people say tortillas?
Ain't it a tortilla?
I mean, I'm scared to say it after you just said it. Incorrectly.
Yeah, we just be fucking up.
Hey, man. Mike D'Antoni said that because there was skepticism on whether or not he should go because of his age. He said he's going to be there with a mask. And during the huddle, the players have to stand 6 feet back so the opposing team is going to be able to hear him.
Of course.
Shut down the season.
This is a clown first dog. This is not a season. I'm telling you, it's whoever wins, I don't care. Whichever one of these superstars end up getting this ring is definitely an asterisk. It's not a normal season. This is not. You should not count this ring for nobody.
Was the 99 season? Did you have an asterisk behind the 99 season?
Hell yeah, I had the asterisk. I'm gonna tell you, and I don't just. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I do have an asterisk next to that season, and you know, and this is not just me being biased, being a Laker fan.
Yeah, about time.
No, this is not about that. This is right, and I hate the Spurs, but I respect Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's top 5 of all time to me. But the Spurs won the championship that year in 1999.
Correct.
Now, that season was the first season that Kobe got to start, but it was half the season. We all know in 82 games is a lot different from 50 games when it comes to player development and experience. So
yeah, that year because Kobe was third. Okay.
Right, Kobe. Yeah, so it was his third year, so that was a big year for him to learn throughout the season. For sure. You know, learn how to play all that stuff throughout the season. You know, he could have used that full 82 games to, you know, to be able to. He was becoming, you know, all-star Kobe. He was becoming that year that Robin to Shaq that year. You know what I'm saying? He was going to turn into that, but they had a half a season. So the Lakers, of course, were getting whooped on by Utah those previous 2 years when Kobe was, and Kobe was a bench player. So he finally gets a start, and the Lakers look a little. They got rid of Nick Van Exel, and it was Kobe and Fisher in the back.
That Utah Jazz basketball, they would just pick and roll the hell out of you. Baseline.
That Utah Jazz team is so underrated, and they just, I mean,
hard picks though.
Dog, hard picks. Stockton and Malone. You know, they have Hornacek and Russell in the corner. I mean, it was crazy. Their offense was crazy. The Lakers were getting smacked. So when they face the Spurs, you know what I'm saying? The Spurs, even though it was a half a season for them too, I'm saying for Kobe as the Robin, as the second leader to that team, I don't think it was fair that he didn't have a full seat, because you know how Kobe worked and how hard he worked and how fast he was improving.
Who was the coach then? Was it Dale Harris?
It was Dale Harris.
And
No. It was Kurt Rambis. I think Kurt Rambis, because Dale Harris got fired. He wouldn't play Kobe.
We need to fact check that.
Let me fact check that. Give me 1 second. Let me peek that.
Okay, and I'll go on.
Let me see. Lakers.
Regardless of anything, regardless of a short season or not, Kobe was still new in the league, so to speak. And then coaching alone, the Lakers wouldn't have beat them.
No. I'm not saying the Lakers would have definitely beat them, because the Spurs were definitely a beast of a team. I mean, they swept them. So I'm not saying it would have made that big of a difference. Right. Dale Harris got fired during the season, so he got fired after being 6-6. So it was Kurt Rambis, and he let him.
God. Okay.
Yeah, Rambis. So a lot of things played a part into the Lakers, you know, being swept, because the very next year, if you see, Tim Duncan got hurt. So they didn't get that grudge match right away. But by year 5, when Kobe became Kobe, when Shaq called him the best player in the world during the playoffs, they swept the Spurs in the average margin of victory. Huh?
But see, okay, so now you know what's dope about this? So now we're gonna have two. The reason why I say this NBA season is gonna count, because now it's gonna be the second time around that we can compare revised season that both have asterisks. So that's content in itself, right?
Yeah,
but here's the grave difference. it's only 22 teams joining now. All the NBA came back after the break. So It was a strike, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. But look, at least now we have content. So whereas it's crazy, man, like whereas I believe shut it down, of course, because health is wealth. Be it that I can't do nothing about it, I just look at it from a different perspective. And now we have 2 revised seasons and have asterisks by them that we can compare. That's more content.
Right. Now I agree from that standpoint. You know what I'm saying? It just in the NBA, it's so hard to win a championship, and it seems like, you know what I'm saying, especially for less players that don't make as much money, that don't got home gyms, that don't got basketball courts in their house like a LeBron or like a Steph Curry, possibly guys that didn't have that type of access. They were sitting around, you know. I mean, I'm sure you can go outside, but you know, it's certain things you need for training to keep up with your as for an NBA guy, not just a street guy that's out there balling. They need certain things. So a lot of players didn't have the access that the LeBrons and the Steph Currys have. So, you know, that's advantaged them. So I just think it's good content to talk about, but when you look at it, I just can't take this season serious at all. I'm not even hyped to watch it.
It's not worth it.
I'm not hyped. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not juiced. Like I ain't been watching on ESPN. I ain't saw none of the practices. I ain't saw nothing.
But I guarantee you watch it enough to be able to be educated with it and use it for content.
Of course. I love the game. I love the game of basketball. Probably damn near outside of my kids, you know, my family. Right. You know, I love the game.
Hey, if you put basketball in the whole sentence of essentials, I know it's serious.
It's serious. I love it. So, you know, of course, I'm a definitely peep it, but you know, it's just can I take this as a real season? It's gonna be hard for me to really take this serious as a real season, man. It's too many moving parts.
Right. The planned blackout dates that you know, you look on social media, and I'm not really sure if they're formalized blackout dates. I don't know if just groups of let's say quote unquote BLM supporters,
right,
are coming together cohesively with, you know, different coalitions. I mean, I don't know. It just seems pretty all over the place for me. And here's the thing about blackout dates. It definitely sends a message, but blackout dates can't last forever. How much are we going to pay as an economy? Because we still have to live here. Is bringing forward blackout dates necessarily worth it? And if the NBA is opening back up, blackout dates are definitely going to affect the NBA, don't you think? I mean, it can affect blackout dates. Is going to affect Black people who work retail, not even Black people, just people who are quote unquote down with the cause, and I'll put that on quotations. It's gonna affect them too, people in retail. So, what you think about it, man? Like, good, bad, and different?
Blackout dates. Blackout dates. It's like, to me, a blackout date is like, it's like a trend. It's like a trend. Instead of why are we having a blackout date at all? It's like we need to be changing the conversation to, this is how we need to be spending our money all the time. Let's figure out how we can do this. Now, there's, of course, moving parts with that, too. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of Black-owned stuff locally to some people. Like, where do you find a Black grocery store so you can buy your food? Where do you find Black places to buy underwear that's made by Black people? Like, it's a lot of moving parts to this. So it will be a little mission, you know, as far as trying to do it. But a blackout date, why are we doing this for one day? We need to be buying Black all the time. So we need to figure out how we could buy Black all the time and how we can make it easier and maybe help people with resources to buy Black. We don't just need to have a blackout date. That's temporary.
I thought that you might have a different understanding of what the blackout date was. I thought the blackout day was when people who are against social unrest don't spend money in the economy. So I think
Right.
you have a different understanding.
Well, I'm just that's what it's boiling down to though. They want to.
Okay. Oh, I get what you're. Okay, full circle. That's
Right.
the moving parts. Okay.
Right.
I was kind of lost in translation. Okay.
No, it's definitely that's what boils down to. That's what the purpose of it, to teach people that we need to buy black. Like we don't need to stop spending money into the economy for that.
You went all the way to the gist. Okay. I got
you know what I mean?
But to play with the economy like that can be unsafe.
It could be. I mean,
as black business owners, I mean, we still have to go. We still have to go to white people for financing, right?
Right.
We don't own any banks, not to my knowledge.
Right.
I mean, we still have to go to these financial institutions. So I just don't understand. I probably wouldn't protest in that fashion.
Right.
Probably wouldn't. I think it's just a dangerous game.
Right. No, I feel you. I mean, like I said, it's man. I just think it takes much more than just a date. Like we got to do some better planning in this, man. I get it.
You think it should be multiple days?
I think it should be all the time. I think it should be a lifestyle. You feel me? I think it should be a lifestyle, to tell you the truth.
Start, though? Okay, I'm asking, how does it start? Do you start out with just not spending money in the economy? Do you do it once a year?
You try to do it as much as you possible. Like we need to look up certain things. Of course, certain things you got to go to the store for, because like there's not a lot of black owned just locally. Let's say there's stuff all in LA County, LA. And if you live in the Inland Empire, are you going to go to all the way to LA to go grocery shopping? Because you buy from the black. So that's a little difficult. You know what I'm saying? But we got to sit down. Everybody got to talk about how we can, certain things we can do every day. We can buy black certain things every day or in our everyday spending. We can do it. Everything. I don't know black owned gas stations, so I don't know we going to buy, it's like I said, certain things is not available to us like that. Right. But what is available to us and what you can buy black, even clothing is the most easiest thing. People is all in the designer clothing. That's cool. I'm not knocking nobody who's in the designer clothing. But when you think about it, you're paying for a name. A lot of these materials, you think high end, Fashion Nova, people buy celebrities wear that stuff is cheap material. It's the same material I can go buy down the street. You're paying for the name. Right. How do you think those names get popular though? Right. If you know somebody with a black clothing line, why don't you support them?
Make them the next Dolce and Gabbana.
Make them the next Dolce and Gabbana. It's gonna be known, but people don't think that way.
Ronnie, take it out to blackout dates. I mean, how effective are blackout dates gonna be if you announce them?
Right, exactly.
The economy would just adjust to it.
Right.
So look, if I'm a business owner and I know that during certain years, people who advocate for social unrest aren't gonna be at my company, I'll just be at my establishment. I'll just close down my store. As a retailer, I'll just close down my store.
Right.
If I have to stay open, I'll just go a little bit under manpower and close early so the lights don't stay on more than what I'm paying my employees. So it's a lot of ways that the economy can be able to adjust to that, man. But yeah, man, it's just so loaded. So Mike Pence, Vice President, right?
Right.
He had a coronavirus task force press conference today. So him and the Bush administration, they're proponents for schools reopening, in the fall.
Right.
You and I, we both have school-age kids. My daughter is transitioning into the 7th grade, and your daughters and your sons are what grade?
My son's he's going to 6th grade.
Okay.
And my middle daughter is going to 8th grade, and then my oldest daughter, she's going to high school, 9th grade.
Mm. Okay. So we all know it's about money. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know it's about money. How I feel about the situation, I think the economy should have been shut down for all of 2020. And I think that should have been concretely known from the get-go instead of going in increments and thinking that COVID-19 is getting better. And even bigger than that, the whole BLM movement too.
Right.
So those were two, we're gonna call them like big movements, not saying, big movements, one with health, one from the social tier. I mean, that's basically encompassed our whole year. For schools to restart, because at first, don't you remember reading headlines? They said that like children couldn't get it
right
early on, and then they went to children can get it, and
right.
I just don't understand that kids also have compromised immune systems as well, and they might not even know.
Right.
So those kids going to school and getting sick, obviously, who's going to care for them? Their parents. And then that's taking their parents away from their careers and their job. So that's affecting the economy in itself. How you feel about reopening?
Woo. I mean, I read I think Trump is he got to be coming from a financial thing. I mean, obviously, when school is a big business. It's a big business. But as a parent, I mean, we definitely need some type of level of schools opening. I mean, even if it's just, I don't know if it's public school, maybe they could figure it out to where they could do, I heard rumors of half days or minimized classrooms, stuff like that. I agree with that, but we can't just not have school at all. Now, as far as public school, I think that's the easiest way to spread this virus. I mean, kids aren't as careful as adults. First of all, they're not careful like us. You know what I'm saying? They don't take the precautions. Like I've heard some of these young people talking. A lot of these young people was not even taking it serious. Mm-hmm. They don't even think the coronavirus is real. Mm-hmm. So
and look, every public school isn't in an affluent neighborhood either.
Right.
The culture of public schools vary.
Right. Exactly. So I don't think it should open, man. Especially, I mean, you got to think about all the money that's going to be lost, even with high school sports. I mean, they want high school sports. They want that revenue. It's $10 of getting them high school games now, dog. $10 for a high school game. Then you got the concession.
It was like $2.50 when I was in high school.
Back in the day, it was like $3. Then you got the concession stands. All that type of stuff. So it's a money thing for them. But as a parent, I don't think it's safe. It can't be safe if kids aren't from coronavirus.
You didn't sneak your concessions in?
Oh yeah, of course.
You was thugged out. You was thugged out?
Yeah. Of course, I snuck mine in for sure. Where'd
you put them though?
In my pockets.
But what happens if it was a Snicker? Where'd you put that?
That motherfucker.
Where's the coolest place to store a Snicker when you're trying to sneak it in?
Shit.
Come on, man.
That motherfucker gonna have to be.
You smoke that
probably
weed.
On the side of a nigga drawers or something, nigga.
You smoke that weed. Now you know where the coolest place to sneak it in?
Yeah.
You don't. Exactly. So look, that goes back to what the hell does that mean? I treat a whole like 7-Up, I never have, I never will. Have you figured that out yet?
Let me say that out loud. I treat a whole like 7-Up, I never have, I never will.
Wasn't that off the Dog Pound or the Chronic album?
That was a Chronic. Okay, now I remember. That was a Chronic. It was definitely a Chronic. Mean? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what the hell them niggas are talking about.
Right.
I don't know. That was a Chronic talking because I don't know what the fuck that was.
Look, I just gave you 2 cliffhangers.
Yeah, I'm like, huh? I don't know. That's definitely the Chronic.
I had to throw a curveball, But back to the serious, man. Like, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Schools reopening, like you said, loss of revenue in sports. Everybody knows schools make money off of lunches, both free and not every kid qualifies for free lunch.
Right.
And they have vendors that they deal with. So like it's constant. It's like perpetual revenue.
Right.
Man, if they make it mandatory to go back, I just think it's gonna be all bad, man. And then too, you know, we're still going through coronavirus. We haven't even hit coronavirus in all the seasons.
Right.
Like when it gets really cold, like we don't know how people's bodies are going to respond. So, I mean, they say that they know, but to go like through a whole season, I mean, we just don't know.
We don't know. And kids being around, that's large crowds, dog. That's large crowds.
Yeah.
Each other. No matter how you try to do the 6 feet at school, they are not going to stay 6 feet apart. They're not going to be social distancing. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Kids being able to, boyfriends, girlfriends. We got to factor in that. The boyfriend's his girlfriend that's sneaking off to the side doing some bullshit under the bleachers. You feel me? Doing that type of stuff.
You telling on yourself, man. You used to do that.
I ain't do that type of shit, but
no,
I know
yes,
people did.
No, that sounded very descriptive.
Dog, I done heard of people doing that type of shit. Trust me.
Like, where do you go? I don't even know like where you go up under the bleachers at. Like, why do you like? Do you have to like look first? Do you have wire cutters? Because like they got. Like, how do you like? Let's talk about that, man.
That was a spot, nigga. In the bleachers, under the bleachers in the bathroom. I know that some of the homies used to hit something in the bathroom. Like I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but I know a few chicks in the bathroom.
And you know what? For the supporters out there, this is a disclaimer. This is a total different Can Chronicles show. We got Ronnie here. What was you smelling earlier, man?
Oh man, let me smell it again. Woo! Man, that's called the ball of berries. Ball of berries.
Why are you always on some bit?
Hey, dog, I gotta smoke this. I gotta definitely smoke this, and you're gonna see after. Like I gotta watch.
Are you gonna turn it or something?
This tree is so good, man.
After effects.
Yes, after effects. Like it's just a completely different feeling. Like dog, it's.
You said that baller berries have after effects.
Like no, the high is different, man. It's different. It's a different high, man. The shit is just amazing. Like it's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Is it one of those highs to where you trying to escape something?
It's one of those highs where you just create a HNS 420 type of thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
High Nation Society.
High Nation Society. You feel me?
I see the branding in the back.
Oh yeah,
man.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got the my shirts on, you know, in the background and everything. We coming out with new merchandise.
You're moving kind of slow, Ronnie.
Huh?
You a little distorted there. Let's branding in the back, man. The logo.
Let me see. You know what I'm saying?
Woo! Is that a black one too?
That's a black one. That's a black one.
Wait, moving. Oh.
That's a silver one.
The white one is an illustration, and then in the middle it has HNS, and it stands for what's the moniker? So the business is High Nation Society. What's the moniker?
The business is High Nation Society. As far as the moniker, it kind of changed. I mean, it didn't change, but I had to change a few things.
What was it called?
Previously?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I named it, it was high nigga shit.
Okay.
So that stemmed from me, having a session with my sister, girlfriend at the time, and we were out, and my girl at the time, and we was eating and we had just smoked. So at the time we went to Mimi's Cafe, and immediately we went in there. She stopped like a random waitress and was like, "I need some water like now." And we were like, "What are you doing?" And we was like, "Man, that was some high nigga shit." And a light bulb went off in my head like on cartoons. It said, "Ding, ding." And I said, "I'm about to turn this into a brand."
Hey, what cartoon?
Tom and Jerry, like ding, like.
So you didn't have to have cable. It was like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm gonna turn this into a brand. And how I was thinking of it as, the word nigga. Everybody say it, even non-black people. Everybody say it, so I wasn't tripping about the word, and then everyone cusses. And everyone loves weed. So, but at the same time, I know how hard it is as a black man, as a black entrepreneur. People gonna look for any small thing to try to dismiss you. So even if it's the word like nigga, like I had somebody jump in my inbox talking about, oh man, is a black dude. And he was like, man, you need to change that N word because of this. It makes us look bad, and you don't want people looking at us like this and that. I'm like,
he was like, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, nigga, please, nigga, come on now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was just overemphasizing on there, like, man, stop. Like, nobody says nothing about the music.
But there's some. Ron, let's be fair though, right? There's some validity to that. You can't really. I mean, you really can't compare it to music because music is when the word nigga sounds a lot different over a beat. I mean, it sounds a whole lot less intrusive. I mean, we kind of got to be fair. So, I mean, I'm not negating like how you feel. I'm just saying like maybe it can be looked at from a different perspective, from a business model perspective, right?
I mean, I felt it. I felt it from that aspect, definitely. I just disagree because I think it's hypocritical. But I felt it. I felt it because I know, like you said, from a business model wise, that word is going to turn a lot of higher ups off. But at the same time, I know in today's world, you could do everything independently. So I'm not looking to really. I wasn't looking to get under anybody higher up. But I think, if you're going to sit up here and play a song that says, let me think of a song. Jay-Z, the song with where you go, light nigga, dark nigga, faux nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, field nigga, still nigga. Like that song was sending a message, but at the same time, be banging that song. We got nigga in every song. So it's a little hypocritical. They're expressing themselves, right? Music is expression. Art is expression as well. So I'm expressing myself. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm expressing myself. But
isn't that a little bit? Isn't them expressing art? Isn't that a lot different than branding though?
It could be, but I mean, at the same time, it's still a word. It's still a word that's heavily used. It's heavily used.
But to read it, but to constantly read it. And to hear it in the song, it just look. I'm not agreeing with it and being in the song like by any fashions. I mean, but at the same token, it becomes lyrically chanful when it's okay. So just think about it, right? Just think about large advertisements when you start getting the Clear Channel billboards. Reading high nigga shit or high nigga society. The optics of that's never gonna go over well. So to kind of compare it to the music, it's kind of like,
Well, it was a strategic thing. See, you weren't gonna ever read high nigga shit, so that's why the brand is called H&S. So I was my plan was to keep people's wheels spinning. You're not gonna know. You could let whatever you think that means, go ahead and say that. I was never gonna write high nigga shit on it. It was always gonna be H&S. And people that fuck with the brand was gonna know, okay, that's that high nigga shit. So you know what I'm saying? My LLC is actually formed. It's crazy. When I formed my LLC, I was talking to the one of the representatives from the state, and they were like, it's crazy because they white people and they want me to say that. They like, what's the name of your business again? And I was like, can you just say that for me, please? Like they was like, can you just please say it for me? Because I can't say it.
Because they didn't want to say it.
They didn't want to say it. I was like, I can't say that. Like, can you say it? And I'll tell them, and they'll be like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But they were like, you know what? I don't think the state is going to pass this. It's not going to let you register a business like that. So what I had to do was
Why did you try?
Huh?
Why did you even try?
Because
was that the artsy kind of like go against the grain?
Yes, that's exactly what that was. I've always
non-conformative. Like what? I'm really gonna push this through. Was that Ronnie?
That was that. I knew it probably wasn't going to go, and they told me it wasn't. But so we had alternatives to it already. So I gave them alternatives at the same time, and I just had to star out all the letters in the middle of each word. Okay. So on my business card it says H star asterisk asterisk H, N asterisk 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 A, and then S asterisk asterisk T. You know what I'm saying? So I market under High Nation Society though. Gotcha. So that's more marketable because there's no prejudice or there's no bias with the word. So I dug that, but from a standpoint, I'm me unapologetically. And in the business world, you know, Nipsey showed us how to do it independently as a rapper. You know, there's ways to do this shit. It might take longer, it might be more tough, but I'm always gonna be me, and I'm always gonna represent my brand.
Who inspired the brand change, or did you have any assistance with the brand change, the brand rebirth?
I did. I can't take all the credit. Shout out to the Politicking Forum. You know, Caleb. I was sitting there when I first met Caleb.
Shout out to Caleb.
Me and Tez. Shout out to Caleb. Me and Tez. We were getting ready to shoot our first podcast, and Caleb, he fucked with the name too and everything. And we just had a conversation. He like, man, I think it's gonna be hard to market it. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's gonna be hard to market that. So you know what I'm saying? He said, just come up with something to market. You don't got to change the name, your brand, but come up with something to market under. So I did that. We did that. So Tez came up with the either the nation or the society, one of them. I think he came up with the nation, and then I added the society, and right there we did it. We said High Nation Society, and we all said, hey, we got to go smoke to this. This is it. This is it. All of us agreed. So that's how we came up with it.
That's interesting.
Oh, look at the comment. Let's address this comment. Shout out to Matt. Matt, that's my boy from high school. Bro, when I bought my H&S hoodies and rocked them out here in Tacoma, I had heads turning. So I had to do that, Ken. My bad on intruding with that, but I had to do that.
That's not. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to try to say, I'm running things now. I just had to show that because.
Who do you think I am, man?
He was one of the first ones to buy. When I launched my website. Shout out to Matt. He always supports. He bought him and his wife hoodies. He watches all the podcasts. He always reposts. And shout out to Matt, man. He loyal. He was one of the first people to buy. And so he lives in Tacoma. He said he got heads turning. And then shout out to Matt, man. Good looking on that,
man. Right on. It's been a beautiful show, man. We always do the sit downs, man. Any other special shout outs you got? Because I got a long list and
oh yeah, always, man. Shout out. Man, it's beautiful. Shout out to the Politicking Forum. All of our partners. Shout out to everybody that's being down. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Chronicles Podcast, which we on right now, H&S 420. Shout out to my co-host Tez. Got to get him back in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rob. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us and supporting, man.
First, I'd like to appreciate you coming through in the clutch.
Oh,
like I always say, man, out of 5 game winners, I can depend on you to make 3. So you'll make the first game winner. You'll miss the second one. You'll make the third. You'll miss the fourth. And the fifth, I have to just go out on faith. But tonight, you scored, brother.
Oh, man. Good looking out, man. Clutch.
Serious, though, man. Just the loyalty, how we come from working together. We've always been transparent. And I always tell the story, man. I knew you was a real dude, man, when we walked up to each other, man, you look sleepy and I look sleepy, and we introduced ourselves. He was like, man, I can't wait till I get off. And I'm like, you do know we have to go to orientation, probably have lunch, meet people. And you worried about getting off. I said, you know what, man, me and him, and then after getting to know you, I knew that we have future plans together as entrepreneurship. I was going to say entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. See, man, you bring out the ghetto in me. Shout out to Tez. What's up with him, man? Everything good with him?
Yeah, everything good. He's gonna be back on. He's gonna be back on for sure. Everything good.
For sure. Shout out to everybody over there at Willow Jackson Music. Pescado, Jordan Iverson, J.R. King. Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to Coco Kennedy. She had an album just recently dropped, Co-Town, The Experience by Coco Kennedy. It's a dope classic feel, man. Her music is very convincing. It's just an all-around dope vibe. Give you an old 60s and 70s feel. Kind of like when you sit on the stool and just like let the vocals just carry the night. Beautiful voice. Shout out to Lucky. Lucky dropped a single recently called Untitled. That's available on all platforms. He has an album out called Heavy Heart. Real Gal is a smash. 24/7 with Zaire. That's also a notable mention. Shout out to Zaire. They work together. His album, Underrated and Overdue. He has a single out, I Know. The visual's out now. He's super dope. He's super talented. Lucky also has a visual out and Crazy. Their interview is coming out. Their live interview is coming out pretty soon. We're going to premiere it on the Roku channel. But just shout out to those cats. Shout out to Kenai. Kenai has a visual that drops tomorrow is the 9th, right? Or tonight's the 9th? I'm losing track of time. Never Leave LA. Super duper duper dope. He also has 2 other singles, Addicted featuring Ernest King and Can't Stand Niggas. It's ironic. We just start talking about niggas, right? And how he but I'm just saying though, I might have skewed vision with that. I gotta revisit that. But shout out to Kenai. Shout out to Davion Canada, D-Mac, over Dungeon Music. They work together. That's his artist. Shout out to everybody over there, man. And it's this guy in the Bay name. I mean, his name is Chow Mein. And his name, but he's super duper duper talented though, man.
Gotta be the same.
And he has an album that's gonna drop early September. And I'm looking forward to that. I'll have a title for you next time. Nobody I miss, man. I got all of my shout outs. And, last but not least, the CEO, Mr. Politicking himself, Kalen Bonds. Thank you for the support system, man. And just making all this possible. Giving us all our individual brands and our individual freedom and really explaining and living by a true business motto.
Yes, sir.
Even for the novice people who come in, he's very informative and he's extremely well versed. And for that, brother, I couldn't respect that anymore, man. And thank you. I appreciate that. So once again, thank you, Ronnie. HNS 420. Shout out to Tez.
Yes,
and
sir.
This is K Williams for the Politicking Forum, Chronicles, HNS 420, and I'm out. Peace.
Peace.